Hey everybody, it's Jay Baer from Convince and Convert, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Marvels, the demonstration and conversation show where I find resources to help you become a better marketer. Today, we have a very special guest on the Marketing Marvels program, somebody who runs a company that I use almost every single day at Convince and Convert, a trusted partner of ours for more than 2 years. It's Brad Baus, who's the co-founder and CEO of a company called Lightboard, which does outsourced, highly professional, super awesome design of a lot of the stuff that you see coming from me and the Convince and Convert team and lots of other business people and marketers from all around the world. Brad, welcome to Marketing Marvels.
Thank you, Jay. Great to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller. So,
Exactly.
Thanks.
We're going to have a special offer for you at the end of the show as well that Brad has generously made to those of you who watch Marketing Marvels. So stay tuned for that. At the end, we'll tell you how to save some cash on Lightboard services. Okay. Explain to the people at home. I mean, everybody who watches the show knows what design is. They know what web design is. They know what brochure design is. They know what PowerPoint design is. They know what email design is. Clearly, if you're tuning into this program, why would somebody want to use Lightboard as opposed to some freelancer or an agency or whatever?
Great. So Lightboard is a bite-sized creative services department. So what we provide for you is an on-demand design team that largely supports marketing teams. So there are a lot of different ways to get design. Freelancer is what a lot of our smaller customers use. Freelancers are great in that they're usually very flexible with price. They're usually very available. But the problem is that they're inherently freelancers, and they might have them on one project, and then the next project they're backpacking through Nepal, and that doesn't give you the consistency of a business-to-business relationship.
Yeah, Wi-Fi sucks in Nepal. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, and working with a few contractors ourselves, we have experienced that in Nepal and Australia and New Zealand, and there's a lot of the digital nomads. So freelancers don't really let you plan for an annual budget. They don't let you plan a consistent, reliable resource. You certainly could go to an agency. There are a lot of great local agencies around the country. Agencies tend to want to work on bigger projects. And what happens with a modern marketing department is that you really need a lot of small projects. You need incremental help with an email any sort of like inbound campaign that you're running. You might need an ebook, a landing page, display ads. It's a bunch of small projects. Oh, shoot.
Wow, that is a small project. This project is so small, there's no lights now in Brad's office. This is, not sure what has happened here. We're making sure that Brad Baus is okay in the offices of Lightboard in Seattle, Washington. Okay, things are all right. Everything good?
Yeah, it was, the motion sensors covered up by that song. So it just didn't think that I was still
the echo-friendly office. That's it. You know, you're in Seattle. You got to do it, and it didn't think you were still here. You were standing so still that the office thought that you were in action. Please.
Yeah, it's not our usual presentation mode. So there's freelancers, designers, freelancers, and agency. An agency is not necessarily geared to do the small projects that a modern marketing department needs. And then the other option is that you can hire an in-house designer. For an in-house designer, you actually have to manage that designer, and that's a challenge. So what we've done with Lightboard is try and take the best of all three of these options and make a new type of service. So we're 100% online. What we provide for our customers is an account manager who is their one point of contact for all their projects. So Jay, we work primarily with Kelly from your team, and Kelly works with Devin, and Devin has worked with Kelly these last 2 years. We understand your brand. When Kelly comes in with a new project, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Indeed. We know what your stuff looks like. We know Kelly's working style. So we can really quickly and efficiently knock out these projects. So that happens for all of our customers, regardless of size. Everyone gets an account manager, and that account manager is the person in your corner that speaks both marketing manager and designer to be able to be the translator between those two parties, and then make sure that the projects are delivered quickly and efficiently. We're very fast. We'll start any project the next business day after we get the approval on estimate and all our materials together. And usually we can turn around a project within a business week, certainly 2 weeks. We always have a designer available between our network of staff designers here and then skilled specialists around the country that we work with.
you may want to demonstrate this in PowerPoint format or presentation format, but are there types of design that you wouldn't do? Like, we're not going to build a mobile app or whatever. There may be some sort of pieces and parts of the design ecosystem. You're like, it's just not really the thing that we offer.
Sure. I think that the design that requires much more context than the actual craft of design. So software development, we don't do beyond making a WordPress site or set up Unbounce pages or HubSpot pages or email templates. But something that requires a lot of complicated UX where really you need to be in the room and you need to have a very close long-term working relationship is not the type of projects that we do. The other types of projects, we primarily work with marketing managers or marketing teams where they have worked with professional designers in the past and they're sort of acquainted with budgets and timelines and a little bit of the mechanics that it takes to get a project done well. We don't work, it's more of a struggle for us when we're working with people that are working with professional design for the first time.
I hadn't thought about that, but I can certainly see that as an issue, right? Where people just don't really know how to scope a job or describe a job, or what they think you could do it overnight or whatever the circumstances may be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're a professional services business and we make a margin on what we pay everyone. And that, when a designer has to spend a lot of time figuring out what you really mean, that's time that nobody really wants to pay for. And it doesn't really work well for our system. But I can show you some of the projects that are good for Lightboard.
That's great.
So I'm going to share my screen here.
And we've used Lightboard for so many things, like web pages, ads, pop-ups, emails. I don't even know how many projects we've done together, but it's dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens.
Yeah, certainly. We've done ebooks, email and templates, a lot of display ads, a lot of the things that you see on the Convince and Convert website we've done. The basic service offering that we offer, presentations, case studies, anything that ends up as a PDF, PowerPoint, sales decks, anything like an ebook, we do those all the time. We do lots of illustration. Illustration is a great way to customize your brand. We've done illustration for Convince and Convert, as well as a number of other customers. Editorial graphics, everything from editorial graphics to just explaining how a product works through illustration. Landing pages and email templates, as just we can either do the design or actual implementation within any of the standard sort of services like a WordPress, Squarespace, or just straight up HTML and CSS. Email templates, we work with all the major providers to plug those in for you. Lots of display ads. And then this is a little bit of the process of how a project works. A big part of working with our customers is how we go from the idea that they have in their head to a completed finished project. And this is a really common brief. A customer actually just sent us a Word document that was a text that we'll use for the ebook. We took that Word document and then made this art out of it. So
it was a significant upgrade to the previous Google Doc.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people, as they're dealing with professional design for the first time, understanding exactly what a designer can do, given enough space to work, is hard. And that's why we've built the system around account managers, so that to understand, hey, you don't need to like give us an exact drawing of what you want. You can just give us the right reference images and blueprint, and we can take something from this into this. Yeah. Or we can go, this is work that we did with one of our customers, UserMind. UserMind is a great example of the type of customers that work well with us. UserMind just raised a large financing round, but they hadn't really spent a lot of time working on their actual branding. And they came to us to do a brand refresh. And really, what we helped UserMind do is start to look like the company that they were now, after they raised all that money. Sure. Give them a professional, fully polished, modern appearance. So this is what they look like now. We have a little bit of before and after for them. This was their sales deck before, which looks fine. It's okay. Yeah. colors don't exactly pop, but you get the idea. You get some arrows and you get bar charts and things like that. And then we took it and we transitioned it to look like this, which looks like a designed experience. It looks modern. The colors are better. The copy is a little clearer, and then the actual like what they're trying to represent looks better.
Yeah, love it.
And then this is the same sort of work that we did on their website that before. Again, the colors aren't really popping too much. There's not a lot of pictures of people, and we brought it to life like this. And I think that this is very affordable work to get done for Usermind. They were on our membership plan, the subscription plan. For something like $24,000 over 3 months, they were able to get a complete brand refresh. And
I mean, usually just for the website alone, it would be in many cases that. And so to do that, plus the whole brand refresh, plus the other assets, that really is a good deal.
Yeah, and I think it's the promise of Lightboard is that we can really quite cost effectively deliver this work. It's bespoke work. It's working hand in hand with our customers. We did quite a thorough branding process with them to give them different options and establish what direction we want to go. And then delivered, it's not just the case studies, presentations, website, redid all their conference, their booth collateral, business cards, the whole suite for Usermind that we've redone over time.
And I think it's important to recognize that Lightboard offers really high quality design, and the majority of the designers that Lightboard employs are right there in the home office where Brad is joining us from in Seattle. There's some other designers in different cities around the US, but this isn't a Brad goes and finds a designer for $10 an hour on Fiverr in Indonesia and then marks it up and then uses that designer to do your project. It's multiple steps above that. Not that there's anything wrong with those kind of systems. I've used them in the past for other projects myself, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about super high quality design execution, really great people to work with. The Lightboard team is extraordinarily customer focused, which I really appreciate. And you're just going to get great design at a reasonable price. As Brad mentioned, the real competition here is hiring a designer on your own team or using sort of a full-fledged design agency that happens to be in your city. And there's definitely circumstances when both of those might be a better approach, but for certainly companies like mine and a lot of other folks who might be watching Marketing Marvels, the way Lightboard is set up is really a superior model. You just get more for your dollar than you would otherwise. Can you talk a little bit more, Brad, about the memberships and how that works?
I can, but I can also speak to the point that you just made. I actually started my career at full service, big Hollywood agencies. I switched to startups. And one of my own dissatisfaction with the traditional agency model is that it's not always in the best service of the customers. So with Lightboard, you're not going to get a sales guy with a Rolex that comes in and tries to give you a ride on selling you much more than you need. We really just focus on doing the work, and we focus on the quality of craftsmanship and not on the what kind of tends to be ego-driven design of a big agency. We try not to have any fuss about it.
Rolex free at Lightboard. That's going to be the new tagline. Now you can never get a Rolex. Now you realize that you're now on a recording saying that. Yeah, he's naked. It's not naked. Brad is also a brand new father, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. His first daughter was just born 3.5 months ago. So he is not only doing exceptional design for me and other people out there, but is fighting through sleep deprivation and new baby circumstances, diapers, the whole deal. So good on you.
Sleep deprived, no watches, but delighted with the
with the outcome.
Yeah. So the designers that we work with are the same people that you find in those agencies. We are usually taking people that are working in the agencies and then working here. We've eliminated all the overhead that goes into an agency. We don't have the big bagel plates in the fancy conference room. We just focus on doing the work. And that's, this is one of those cases where we pass the savings on to our customers. And so the way that we structure our pricing is through monthly memberships. The memberships are allocations of hours every month. It works similar to a retainer. We actually started pricing everything by the hour, like any freelancer or agency would. And we ended up finding that we were spending more time talking about how much things would cost than actually doing the design. With memberships, it's basically all you can eat. You create a project. Our accounts team starts working on it. We'll do an internal estimate of the hours, and maybe we'll check in if it's might be out of sync with what the retainer level is at.
Yeah.
But we just start doing the work. And a lot of times with design projects, they might go faster than you expect. We spend all of our time working on the design instead of a lot of time estimating it. So memberships start at, we do quarterly pricing. They start at $22.50 a month. And that gives you about enough to support a normal marketing team that does inbound marketing, maybe where they have 2 to 5 marketing managers. For some of our customers, we go all the way up to more like supporting a full-time employee level. Mm-hmm. And that's where we're supporting a team of maybe 10 to 20 people on their side, and they come to Lightboard to do all of the graphic design. The great thing about Lightboard is that we've built it to be a team app. So on your team, we have Kristen that's requesting projects, and you've requested projects, and Kelly's requested projects. They don't actually have to be, everybody on the team doesn't have to be involved in every project, and independently request projects from Lightboard. And because Devin is account manager, Jay, you know that when you request a project, it's going to look the same as when Kelly requests a project.
Yeah, that's really key, that you get the same person every time. Because if you just sort of get into the random collection of different designers, then you've got to explain everything all over again. And here's how we like it, and here's what we've done in the past, and here's what's worked. And it's such a waste of time. It's so inefficient for both sides. So the fact that there's one point of contact is terrific. And the interface is really easy to use. As Brad said, Lightboard is not the type of design firm that's going to come sit in your conference room. That's not how it's set up. It's all online. And so one of the reasons that projects get requested and turned and executed so efficiently is that you really do have a nice online interface to kind of manage and guide all that stuff.
Yeah, and I can show that to you now.
Oh, great.
So this is the Lightboard interface. It's a standard project management sort of tool. It is a homepage. Our organization here is called Lorem and Ipsum, which is our demo organization. Every project comes with, when you create your account, you upload your logo, your colors, any brand assets that you might have, your fonts, and then some other work that represents what the brand
maybe stuff that you've liked in the past that maybe somebody else did or what have you.
Yeah, or if you're sharing collateral, like whatever your existing brand book, we function a little bit as a digital asset manager. So every one of those logos, colors, and fonts comes with every project that you create through Lightboard. So we don't have to ask, hey, do you have a vector version of your logo? What's that font? We know it. That helps us save time. If you create a project, we have basically a shopping cart of different types of projects that we can do. We can do any type of design project, but we have a few starters for you. Presentation design is one of our most common. We can output anything in Keynote, PowerPoint, InDesign, or PDF. There's a little bit of a description of how the project works, and then you create a brief. And the brief is a small form that walks you through basically all the things that you usually need when you're creating a project. So I'm going to say that this is a sales deck redesign, and I happen to have a file that I can upload my current deck. And I can say,
make this not bad.
My current deck isn't great, want to redesign, et cetera, et cetera. I submit it. And now what you see here, the picture on the left, Madeline is my account manager. So she's handling all of Lorem and Ipsum's projects. She gets an email, she'll field this request, and she'll submit, get it started for me. In this case, because that was a very poor brief, she probably—
it's very short, very short.
Not quite enough for us to get started with. She would suggest we schedule a call. We are 100% online, but we do work, we get on the phone all the time with our customers. Most of the collaboration happens online, but there are some things that you just need to work out over the phone. So it's always accessible that you can schedule a call with your account manager. You can also invite your team, so anybody else on the organization. can come on in, and now Jane, when she joins the project, will be able to work on it with me. If I want to chat, I can say,
and it keeps all the communications right there in the system. That's really great, as opposed to having to hunt through all your emails.
Right. So Madeline will get back to me with an estimate. What we can look at here is past projects. Great. And here's an example project of what art looks like once it's uploaded. In this case, the customer has, the account manager has submitted it to us, and we can review the art. This is a branding project that we did. You can flip through the different options and then leave comments here. I can add my teammates. And basically all of this goes and sends out emails to the right people.
That's great.
The nice thing about what this does is that for you, Jay, that you're not involved with every project that Convince and Convert does through Lightboard, you can tune in to Lightboard and see what's going on and see what's happened. And you can basically read a project to see the history of what's happened. In this case, this is an example of the back and forth that we typically do on a project, where customer uploads the first round, they'll give us some feedback, we chat back and forth, and then we'll give them a schedule as to when they're going to get the next round. Here you can see the whole process of this project, of how it went back and forth and doing different rounds. We don't limit the number of rounds that we do for customers. That's generally a big concern when people are getting started with us.
Sure.
We don't limit the number of rounds. We always give you the source files. We really function much more as an in-house team. We're not trying to do anything tricky about
to run up your build, or spend extra hours or what have you.
Yeah, we want to do the best job that we can for you. So this is how the interface works. You can all zoom in on any of the projects, download the work whenever you need to review it elsewhere, and then always invite new people in. We have the concept that you can invite people in just to review a project, or you can invite them in that can create projects. And that's a little bit about how Lightboard works, the app and the interface.
So easy. Keeps everything in one place. You can communicate in one place, download in one place, upload in one place. You see all the dates there. You know exactly what's going on. What I really like about this interface, and I've worked with so many designers in my career, like 50, is that there's never a black hole, right? There's never like, I don't know, I guess they're working on it, right? Which is always sort of the concern. Like, you just don't have visibility into what's happening. And this really solves that problem. Like, everybody knows where everything is. Everybody's clear on timelines. Everybody's clear on delivery. It just eliminates a lot of the uncertainty that not only wastes time, but it just creates that nagging sense of, is this going to get done when we want it to get done? So I really love the certainty of the system. It's really, really well done.
We really focus on providing transparency for customers, that they always know where the project's at and that we're always available. It is something that that an agency can kind of get away with. It's really hard to kind of get them on the phone. And when you do need something and you do have a deadline, and it's a hard deadline, or there's a problem, everybody's instinct is to avoid that problem.
I'm out of the office.
And that's not really the best thing that you need with a partner. So with Lightboard, we're very transparent. It is difficult that we have to deal with some of those scheduling problems, and things come up. But we found that taking a very transparent approach to that has been effective in creating better relationships with our customers.
Well, as Brad indicates, I think you may even have a coffee mug to this effect. Everyone deserves great design. Is that there it is. Everyone deserves great design right there. And I could not agree more. great design is not out of your reach. It is in your reach. Brad and his team at Lightboard can absolutely help you the way they help us at Convince and Convert. Memberships on a quarterly basis start at just $2,200 a month, which is a really good deal considering how much work you can deliver in that amount of hours. I will also say that Brad has generously made this offer to Marketing Marvels listeners and viewers like you. If you go to lightboard.io, remember that, lightboard.io/marvels. We'll put the URL right down here. Lightboard.io/marvels. You will get a quarterly membership at the annual rate, which saves you $750, which is fantastic. Brad, thank you very much for doing that. It's very kind of you.
Of course. Well, we look forward to working with the Marketing Marvels viewers.
Quick question for you before we depart. What is a marketing marvel for you? What's a piece of software or solution that you can't live without that maybe our viewers don't know about?
We use Customer IO for our marketing email automation, and I've really enjoyed it. It's a very I started my career as a designer, but have transitioned to be mostly a software developer, and I really like how technical it is. It's very great how well you can weave it into your app to do triggered email campaigns.
Nice.
We've enjoyed working with them. They also have a lovely little brand, and their little pigeon friend is very charming.
Excellent. There you hear it. Customer.io. We will link that up in the show notes as well, friends. Don't forget, we do new episodes of Marketing Marvels on a regular basis. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you will never miss an episode. If you're not sure where that is, go to bit.ly/Marketing Marvels, all lowercase. That's bit.ly/Marketing Marvels, all lowercase. Brad, thanks again for being here. Really appreciate it. And thanks for all the great work on behalf of us and all your clients.
Thanks, Jay. It's been great talking with you, and we look forward to continuing to work with Convince and Convert.
You got it. Marketing Marvels is a production of Convince and Convert Media. We've got multiple podcasts and a lot of other things as well. I do the Social Pros show. We have the Connex show. Socialpros.com has more than 5,000 articles for marketers and business owners. Check it out at convinceandconvert.com or find our podcasts on iTunes. On behalf of Brad and his team at Lightboard, I'm Jay Baer from Convince and Convert. We'll see you next time on Marketing Marvels.